surprised that you were actually not interested in Barbies. Because so far, if there's something that you have shown me, is that you're very interested in animated female characters.
All right, let's get ready for the junk. What the fuck?
Wait.
If you're ready for battle, you better get on the saddle. We got some demons to tackle, yeah. We about to put on a show. These haters don't even know.
Top 3 favorite anime characters of all time.
The Rocket Twins from Pokemon.
Yeah, you would have to use your mouth.
I don't know what's going on with Big Radiohead today. Cody asks, I watched last week's episode, but I couldn't stop focusing on that nasty red spot above Anthony's eye.
Damn.
When you come to the ring, which song do we got?
Think of a song. Oh, a song. A song.
Oh my god. All right, you're not doing that to the ring. Are there any games out there that represent your life, like something you can relate to? It's the most depressing game, Elden Ring. I could probably relate to Kaylin. Yeah, Kaylin in Elden Ring, that whole area, I relate to all of that.
Anthony has anxiety.
That whole thing is great. Thank you for that. Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the world's greatest Junk Mail Tuesday podcast. Even if it's the only Junk Mail Tuesday podcast in the entire world, it's still the greatest because I'm Anthony Streams and I have the world's greatest co-host, Pink Radiohead.
Yeah, I was gonna say something.
Oh no.
No. Go ahead. I'm like, I think I was gonna say hi. I think I have a booger.
Oh shit. We're off to an amazing start. I think it's safe to say Pink is in a very fun mood tonight. It
I
feels
had
like.
kombucha.
Oh, okay, that's probably
It's
what
probably
it is. I need to
that.
get on. I need to get on your level for sure. Okay, well, we were just talking right above the stream. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you probably missed this, but we were just talking about our weeks and stuff, and um I was just telling Pink about how I was getting into some Silent Hill uh short messages, I think is what it's called. I just wanted to say real quick, the game is pretty interesting. I actually had to call somebody. This is where I needed Pink, actually. One of those you were kind of hoping she was in the chat. I was trying to figure out because there's so much talk about and I'm gonna watch my words here because I don't know what you're allowed to say and not allowed to say on this. Um, I guess self-harm.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of that in the game. And part of me was just kind of like, I know it sounded like a cop out to the chat of me trying to just not stream the game, but I was like, I don't know, guys. I don't know if I should be playing this on stream. It feels like um, a lot. So I ended up having to just mute my mic, and I called somebody that was a Twitch partner, and I got his best advice, which what he told me I'd already done, which was just like pin a message saying like, "Hey, just trigger warning, this is in the game." But I wanted to say just really quickly off of that the game, while I get weirded out about that type of stuff in movies and games, it's not my place. I'm not educated enough to say whether it should or shouldn't be in games and movies. I'm not educated enough. I don't have an opinion. Uh, I just, I believe if you don't know enough, you should shut up and let other people who do know speak on things like that. I just know I get kind of weirded out if it's a whole lot of it going on. But I did kind of feel like they were telling a very interesting message in that game about how people are reacting to social media with like the amount of likes they get or reading the comments and just I'm not having enough comments and paying attention to who's following them, not following them, who unfollowed. And I was just like, man, like that's real life. People really, go through those. I don't know. Just wanted to say if anybody's interested in horror or anything like that, I did not finish the game from the first chapter that I played. It came off like it had like a message you could almost kind of relate to. I don't know how the game ends, so maybe it does some wild shit that shouldn't be done in a game. Just from the chapter that I played, it's went in pretty deep into some stuff.
I mean, I'm of the opinion that video games are art. So like, and I think art is supposed to challenge mindsets and also present issues that are very present in our society, but because of like the way the world is, like they have become like taboo to talk about them and all that stuff. So I don't have
Hmm.
anything against video games touching on mental health issues. I think the only form of media or show that I've had an issue with was 13 Reasons Why, because that show actually touched on something very similar. It was someone who was bullied, and obviously we know, most people know what it is about and what the girl did and why she did it, and like the entire show is kind of like justifying the reasons why she did what she did and kind of like blaming it on everybody. But my issue wasn't only that, because obviously it was a lot was told from like her perspective and stuff like that. But I think it's that show ignored actually professional advice of what to show and not to show on that TV show and represent.
Hmm.
I think that kids that are, very vulnerable to this type of content will see it and will glorify what she did to her own life. And that's not something I'm in for. Like, I don't agree with that. I hated that scene actually. Um, I mean, this is a little deep and kind of like going away from my silly mood earlier, but
Hmm.
there have been a couple of those situations in my family, and I lived that as a kid, and I have seen people go through depression, and I have seen people do that to their lives. I was actually very annoyed to the way it was handled. So I don't have anything against that in video games. I think as long as they're doing it in a way that is not disrespectful and is not going against what a professional would advise, um, like I think it's completely fine. I haven't played that game. I don't have anything. Like I said, like I'm okay with that in video games. We talked about Hellblade the other day, right? And Hellblade
Yeah, yeah.
actually touches on psychosis, and in I think psychotic episodes or psychosis. I'm sorry, forgive me. I would have to like double check what they're actually trying to portray there. But yeah, definitely like I think video games are 100% free to do that. Of course, always put a disclaimer. There are people that are going to need that disclaimer. I think people that actually go through that stuff usually don't care that much
Hmm.
to see that stuff, but probably because they're ready.
Yeah,
But some
yeah,
people are in like are recovering or still healing, and they need that trigger
yeah,
warning just to,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, 100%. We got rated, and I just let their channel know when they came in, like, hey, just letting y'all know right off the top, this is what's going on now. It was just a weird spot to be in. I didn't mean to uh shake up the mood too much. It's hard not to when you talk about a subject as serious as that. But it just, in the back of my mind, I was wondering, where is the gray line? And like I said, not educated enough to speak to it. Just where's the gray line when you're talking about things in this? You're telling a good story, but there's also horror elements. So what's crossing lines or not? It was just something I had in the back of my mind the entire time I was playing.
Oh,
Um,
sorry. I was trying to tell you that you're making your mic really loud, and I posted it on my chat instead of sending it to you.
well, I do have your stream up. I just I have it up on my phone. I'll go read it. How about that? Okay. How? I guess I'm just getting too close to my mic. Does that sound better?
I think you were making the game very loud because I could hear like something in the back and like all of a sudden a lot of air and all. I don't know, just yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
No
I
worries.
turned it down while I was drinking coffee, so I didn't turn.
Oh
The
yeah,
sips
I
weren't
appreciate
loud.
that. I appreciate that. But I think after like it
Okay.
was like too loud and I could hear other things. Just letting you know.
Okay. Everything sound good right now? Everything's good.
Yeah, everything's good. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's get right to it then. We're gonna go to Discord first. We'll jump to Hi Ducky. Hi Ducky's got three of them. Shout out to Ducky for sending in the questions over in the
Yeah.
Discord. If you're listening to this for the first time, you can add your questions over on Twitch. We live stream this every Tuesday night at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Or if you're catching this on the YouTube and you just want to just comment on the YouTube, you can leave a question in the YouTube. We'll do our best to answer it to the best of our abilities. Or you can join the Discord. You can get that by coming over to Twitch and just join the Discord that way. And we have a whole section uh, for that. So let's jump to Ducky, whose first question is: what question would you ask to get the most accurate information about who a person truly is?
Well, I don't think there's a question that you can ask someone that is going to show you who they truly are. Maybe how they treat
Really?
NPCs in video games.
I was gonna say, are you an Elden Ring fan? That tells me everything about you.
Oh, yeah, that doesn't tell me anything. Like to really answer the question, like there's not really like first of all, I'm not very good at asking questions. I'm usually observing people and their behavior, seeing what comes up. Normally how I kind of like can tell more about them is when they tell me like how they speak about other people, the things that they describe that they bother them, and how they react to certain situations. Like that usually tells me more about the person than actually like asking them a question. I'm not very good at that, asking people questions like, maybe like no idea. I usually just observe a
Yeah,
lot. I observe a lot and, try to have conversations. I'm not very good at saying, like, hey, what's your favorite color? Or, anything like
right.
that. Not great at that. Probably that's the reason why I don't have a lot of friends. But, but, but yeah, I just observe. Yeah.
Okay, I got all right. Well, how about this then? We're already here. Let's get to it.
Hmm.
And if it's TMI, of course you don't have to answer it. I'll answer it if you don't want to. If you were to ask somebody, I won't throw out a certain political party or anything like that, but if you were to ask somebody what their political view was, and they said a party different from something you may be aligned with, does that tell you a lot about a person?
Depending what is it that they support. Um,
Right.
because like I have met people from the opposite and
The opposite.
yeah, that they were actually good people and they did good things, but they had certain things that were more like kind of like traditional. I think it's pretty obvious that I'm progressive, right? So
Hmm.
I don't I don't think I need to shout it out. But
I would have
there are
never
things
guessed.
yeah, right. But there's usually deal breakers, like when they talk on women's issues, people with uterus, and they think that they know best. You're out. When
Yeah,
when they're
that's very
racist,
fair.
you're out. When you consider that genocide is okay, you're out. Like I think it's pretty
Okay, so
simple to
sort
me.
of, kind of, yeah, 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 I see what you mean. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Same.
I
I
will say
guess.
though, sorry, Aunt, but like I just want to say that I have given people the benefit of the doubt and they ended up disappointing me. So
Hmm.
there's also that, and I don't, and that's not only from like a political perspective, but also like kind of like the background of this said person that I'm thinking of. Like, bruh, completely disappointed the type of person they ended up being and like how they try to like gaslight and I don't know, really weird to the point that I had to block them everywhere. So like it wasn't even someone that I was close with, it was just like someone I knew, but I give them the benefit of the doubt because they sold themselves as a good person. I'm like, okay, let's see.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I feel like I don't know if there's one question you can ask that's gonna just really tell you who somebody is. Um, but I do feel like there's a lot of questions you can ask that kind of give me an idea of whether or not I don't know what the correct word is I'm trying to use, but I guess that kind of give me an idea of whether or not we would I guess get along almost. That feels like a terrible word to use there. Like I feel like there's a word much better to use than get along. Uh but I guess the reason why I asked about the political one is I could see there being a situation in which I do have friends that lean opposite way, have better morals than some of the shit that I've seen from that side. Um So I guess I don't know. I guess I'm agreeing with you. There's like that gray area when it
Yeah.
comes to stuff like that. Almost I try to give benefit of the doubt most times. Like sometimes somebody, I joke about like Elden Ring, but I would say I guess kind of more like music or Elden Ring. Kind of music do you like? What kind of artist would tell me a lot about you, not even to you know what, actually the easier way for me to do this is to make it more light. I could tell a lot about a person by their music choices. That doesn't mean bad. It's all at the end of the day, everything is music. But I can almost catch a vibe depending on like how many you start telling me your favorite artists, your songs, and I can kind of start picking up on things like, oh, okay, I kind of see what this person
Yeah, but that doesn't
is
make
all
you
about.
a
Yeah.
good or bad person, you know? I know people
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
what yeah, yeah.
I don't like reggaeton, right? And when people tell
Mhm.
me they like reggaeton, I'm like, okay, cool. Like maybe when I was a teenager, I would have been like, ew, but then that would have eliminated like almost like 80% of the population in Venezuela. So I wouldn't have been friends with anyone,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And you wouldn't do
uh,
this podcast with me because I'm a big Bad Bunny fan. 100%.
okay, so
Shout out
anyway.
Bad Bunny.
Yeah, I guess. Get your money, boy.
No, yeah, for sure. I agree that it doesn't like none of that determines whether you're good or bad, but I guess it does I can almost kind of catch a almost I could tell a lot about a person by the shows they watch, the the different interests they have. A lot of times I can kind of put together like, oh, okay, I see what kind of person I see what this person's got going on a little bit.
Yeah, I think for me, normally, like what I see is that, like, how they talk about certain issues that, because I'm like a very, like I lead with my values normally. Like, I have, like, if somebody described me, like, at work, describe me with, like, I have a moral compass. But, I believe in my values. Like everything that I do, I try to make it align with those values and kind of like the type of person I want to be and the type of, actions that I want to have in the world. Like if there's someone that goes completely against that, that usually tells me that in my book, they're not very nice. And I'm not saying that I'm like
Hmm.
the representation of goodness. It's just that I have certain values that I believe, kind of like that are for the people and, based on peace and love, even though it doesn't seem like that because I'm like very contrarian and like, opinionated. But like it's true though.
Hmm.
Like I just think that there are certain things that people will say that I will not stand for, and that usually tells me more about their character, to be honest. And but yeah, I think we said that already, so sorry for repeating myself.
No, you're good. Actually, before we exit off of this, I want to ask this, and you do not have to go into detail and say what it is or anything like that. But just, um, are there certain things that there's just like, well, this sounds like a dumb question, but I guess like not to like the most extreme of things. I guess like I'm not talking about like a murderer or anything like that, but just is there something somebody like can have like a certain, like I don't know, maybe religion or politics or just whatever. Is there something like that along the lines of for you, there's just no coming back if they feel a certain way about something?
I
I
just
guess I'm trying to do this without getting into too much detail and
I think that like
TMI
that
stuff.
that is like too broad of a question, but also no,
Yeah.
like I don't think like political inclination, if it's a normal political inclination, when I say normal, it's not something that is on the extremes. That's what I mean.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Or a religion that is not extreme as well. Like you practice it with you believe in what you believe in and you respect what everybody else does. Then I don't have any issues with that. I will never discriminate anyone for their beliefs or whatever, as long as it's not extremist, as long as you are not going against other people, because there are people that hurt other people, that they want to
Oh, of course.
squash
Yeah.
other people. So like those
Hmm.
like are actually like that's my line, like you're an extremist. And of course there are
Hmm.
people that they're gonna have like such a different opinion than mine, that they might not be a bad person, but I don't want to deal with them because I don't want to waste my energy getting into those topics. And there are people that like to bring those topics up to me because I have been told that I'm very triggerable or something like that. And some people get I guess like they get a kick out of it, but like I don't. Like, they think I'm having fun having discussions and having this type of fights, but I don't. So what I'm trying to say is like I would limit my time with those people, and I probably won't get very close to that type of people. That's what I mean.
Okay.
I try to
All
surround
right.
myself. It's not that everyone that thinks the same, but I try to surround myself with people that have a certain set of values that are respectful, they're open-minded, they're open to different cultures, they respect other people, they respect other religions, like they respect that we're not, the same, and etc etc, like people that don't say sexist stuff, etc. Like I think, like I don't know, I think for me it's pretty normal standard, but I don't know.
No, I got you. I got you. All right. Ducky also asks, "What's been your latest guilty pleasure?"
I don't know.
Mine is gonna
Crocheting.
be crocheting. And for anybody who hasn't seen our Zelda, I was gonna say Tears of the Kingdom, Ocarina of Time video, she actually was knitting that, or crocheting. Sorry, uh, she crocheted that, and she's wearing it live on the podcast. I'll say I've been getting into wine a lot lately, and by a lot I don't mean I'm drinking wine every night before I go to bed or anything like that. But I like to I'll like buy a bottle, and then probably like every other Saturday I'll have like a glass or two, and just kind of like just taste different wines and things like that. And I've never really been into wine before, but and I've only had red wine. That's it.
Yeah,
I haven't switched up from red wine to do anything else.
I love red wine.
So yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna switch up or not. The red wine just tastes too good, and I've kind of been having a really good time with red wine.
I love red wine, and I lived in Spain for about 6 7 years, so I had my share of really really good wines that were very cheap as well, by the way. But over there it's just. But now I just like I get sick. My body doesn't take it
Mhm.
anymore, and so I can have like maybe one glass, but then I might get my stomach might get upset and stuff like that. I guess I'm getting old, so.
Oh, the same thing happens to me. Not for me. Well, yeah. Wine, all of it usually tears me up in the morning. My stomach, I usually have stomach pains when I first get up in the morning. That comes with being old.
Yeah, I said
Do I have any others?
Pinot Grigio, and tequila only. Oh my goodness, that hopefully not together. I like Tempranillo, grape, and I do like Crianza as well. Like if you haven't tasted Spanish wine, like I definitely recommend it. Go and taste some. It's pretty good. People sleep on it.
I went into. I got to see if I can find it here. I went into to a. It was a wine bar, and not a wine bar. What is the other thing that they have? Like a wine. What do they call that? It's not. All right,
Tinto
I've
de
lost it.
verano, sangria.
Oh, is that somebody? Oh, um,
No, I'm trying
I
to
went
help
in
you.
there.
You said like a
Oh,
wine.
I thought you were reading the chat. No, it's like a. It's not a wine bar, but it was like a wine. I can't remember I can't remember what it was called. But I went in there and I still don't have a big knowledge of wines. I just look for like something red and I just try it. And I just went in there and this is like a real fancy one. And I was just like, I like just what do y'all got? Like what on this list is good? There like it's an expensive place. Everything was expensive. I usually just go to Walmart and get it. And she told me like Malbec. I think I'm saying it right.
Yeah,
Malbec. Yeah.
Malbec. Yeah.
She was like, that's my favorite one. And I said, okay, well, give me a bottle of that. And so I've kind of had that for like 3 weeks now. That's how little I drink. Like I've had it for like almost a month. And I
Wait,
just
like
kind of just
the same bottle?
yeah.
Huh. I
Why? What's wrong?
I feel like it goes bad after a couple of days that it has been out.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
But I believe isn't that she said "que," but Malbec is
Is
good
it
though. um,
It
Wait,
still tasted good.
Hideki saying, I'd love to see a crochet or knitting stream from you. Well, I don't know how to knit yet. I actually started crocheting in the summer after getting unemployed. So, but I love it. It's so fun. And yes, I definitely should do that. I don't have. Okay, so I have a bunch of yarn, and I'm sorry, I'm going to another conversation. I have a bunch of
Yeah,
yarn,
go for it.
and I wanna like do some projects. So I would like to figure out what to do with that. There was a hat that I wanted to crochet, and I haven't yet. So let's see. If-
Crocheting with like Zelda music, that'd be a whole vibe.
Oh yeah, for sure. I actually did think about it because like I think I was talking to some friends about it of like just having a video where I'm just crocheting with like chill music, and it's funny that somebody's mentioning it now.
No, that yeah,
Oh,
I would love that.
oh, that's so cool. We can crochet together.
And for the YouTube listeners, we're actually we're talking with the chat right now, so y'all can't y'all
Yeah.
can't see what's being said, but that's who we're talking with them. That's why you should come to the live on Tuesdays and hang out with us in chat. Do we have any more guilty pleasures? I don't know if
I've been
I don't think
watching
I
a lot of K drama.
okay, all right.
um, and I
Okay,
laugh,
K
and I
drama.
laugh, I laugh at the drama of it, right? Like I laugh at all of it because I'm like, there's no way the dude knew that she was gonna get run over, and he's already there, ready with his car to like intersect them, and he dies instead. Like very dramatic. But then he's not dead. He's not dead. He didn't die. He's alive. So
Okay, I got some guilty pleasures. Now that you've brought up shows, that gives me like okay. On YouTube, I like watching compilations of people's reactions when they get sentenced to like life in prison. I don't know why. It's fucking weird. I know. But it's just like this, like when they just name off like, oh, you're getting life in prison, and they just start like they're crying and like, oh my god, I killed 80 people, but I don't deserve this. And you're just like,
what?
y'all never just watch those videos of like people getting sentenced to like life and just be like, wow,
Listen,
your life's gone.
when I was younger, I was so much more interested in those topics. But the older I get, and the more I was exposed to the world and how cruel it actually is, and how many bad things people actually do, the more I'm afraid of it. Like,
Yeah.
it makes me feel very icky. Like, to watch like killers stuck like they're okay. I don't know, it makes me really uncomfortable, and it makes me scared, more scared than watching a scary show like a ghost show or
Mhm.
something like that,
Well,
because
it's way more real.
yeah, exactly. Well, ghosts are
Yeah.
dead and they're not gonna do anything to you, but people are scary.
Mhm.
Like alive, people who are alive are the ones that can actually hurt you. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm actually, oh man, for a while, I don't have time to watch TV like I used to, but there was a time where the ID channel, that stayed on in my house all day. I'd come home and just watch crime, murder stuff all day long.
Yeah, no, I can't do
I
that.
there was actually I've told this. We have a lot of new people in the chat who haven't heard this story, and I'll make it super quick. I actually fainted at work one time because I was listening to a podcast and they were getting into details about who was I don't think it was Jeffrey Dahmer. I think it was it? No, no, no. Oh, Jack the Ripper. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of.
Oh no way! They went
Yeah,
into deep.
yeah, they
Mm-mm,
yeah. I was listening to it and they were just talking
mm-mm.
about the murders and what he did to them, and I was just like, "Yep, I'm out," and just kind of just passed out.
Yeah, I
And I
don't.
couldn't tell them what was wrong. They said, "Did you eat breakfast?" And I did, but I was like, "No, I didn't eat." I couldn't tell them I was listening to a podcast about somebody getting murdered. I was like, "Yeah, it's probably food. I should go eat something."
Yeah, no, like I think I've mentioned it before, but that's the one thing I cannot do. Like very graphic violence, gore, and things where things are getting caught up. Oh my god, I cannot. That's why I get so panicky with things like Dead by Daylight and Texas
Mhm.
Chainsaw Massacre. I'm like, no, like it gives me such a horrible feeling. Maybe in a past life I was murdered. I don't know. I don't like it.
Right. No, I get it. I get really uncomfortable with seeing it and obviously hearing it sometimes too. I like knowing and like watching and understanding. I don't like gruesome details. Like
Yeah.
I had to quit listening to that podcast. I was like the details are a little much. Um, Ducky in chat says there's an anime about that. Actually, I don't know if I can sit through the anime. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I do watch like interviews where they interview serial killers to just. I don't know what it is. There's a million things you can do with your time than to watch stuff like this. But
Yeah.
sometimes it's just like I just want to know why. Like, where did things go wrong in your life for this,
Well,
like, to come to this? Like,
some
I
of
just
them are
genuinely just
born with a mental health issue, and that's
yeah,
why. But
yeah,
like, why it
hmm
happens, like that's the mystery, right? Like, and I think that's
yeah.
what attracted me to psychology when I was like younger. Like, I was like, oh, maybe I'll be a psychologist. But I was like, when I thought of kind of like going into the field of like having to deal with with people with those type of
Yeah.
mental health issues, I was like, "Ooh, that's scary. I'm not sure about that." And obviously, you can specialize in different things, but I remember at that time I just didn't fully understand the different type of things that you could do. Is there someone in your
Mhm.
house, by the way?
Yeah, the
Oh,
person
okay.
is can y'all really hear all that?
Yeah, I was just like, I don't know if Anthony's alone, but that's scary because that sounds like a
Oh,
ghost.
no. The person, I guess YouTube, y'all don't know this, but Twitch knows. Somebody's down here for surgery.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Oh
why I'm not
yeah,
going to be streaming the rest of this week. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Okay, cool. Wait, but there's a book that was actually like I have read things that actually have like some descriptions and some graphic things to it, but like it wasn't all about that, and it was very interesting because I don't know if anybody knows kind of like bro, what was the name of that book? I'll look it up and maybe you can post it. Um, but basically goes into because at some point I was obsessed with vampires and kind of like the story of kind of like how the myth came about and why did people like who was used to kind of like be inspired for Dracula and stuff like that. And some people have the theory that Vlad the Impaler was kind of like one of those inspirations for Dracula, but it was actually Elizabeth Bathory or Bathory. I don't know if I'm saying her last name correctly. It was this woman from I don't remember if she was a queen or a princess or she was like royalty for sure, or noble. That would actually murder women like young women, and she would do very weird shit like bathe in their blood, kind of like she would fool people into bringing the young girls to come to her castle to kind of like get trained by her to be noble, to be educated, and like they ended up like dying, and like she had like servants that actually help her do all that stuff, and just because of her blood loss they said that she's the actual inspiration for Dracula per se, in the sense of like drinking blood and like all the blood focus and stuff like that. But if anybody is interested in learning about that, I will search for the book because it was very interesting and it was very well written. But yeah, I hope it's in English too, so I will find it.
um, like you said, she wants to read. She wants to read it.
Perfect. I'll
All
look it up.
right. Speaking of Ducky, she has one more here. What's the scariest nightmare or experience you remember?
Okay.
Whew.
There's so many. I think
Yeah.
I have already spoken about kind of like what I lived in my house, but like as a haunted house and how scary it was. But actually the scariest experience was that Venezuela became very, very unsafe. Like since I was a kid, it was already unsafe, but it became like even worse later on. But it became really unsafe. And one time, like when things had already gotten really bad, my dad, my mom, my sister, my brother, and I went on a trip to another city in Venezuela to visit some family, kind of like doing a road trip. But at that time, like there was like this gang that was going around all the houses in my neighborhood breaking in. And my grandmother was actually, going in and out of the house, kind of like feed the cats, feed the dogs, the parrots, like all the animals that we had, taking care of the house. And she was getting home, and they actually had broken into my house. and they were basically like ransacking it and stuff like that. And when they found, when my grandmother entered, they grabbed her and they tied her up, and like they were saying that they couldn't find what they were told that we had there, because apparently they were tipped that we had a lot of money or dollars or gold or whatever. I don't know. But basically, just lowering your volume a little bit. So basically, they grabbed my grandmother and they said they were gonna kidnap her, and they were gonna ask for $1 million because they were told that there were things in her house that they couldn't find. And my grandmother, always a very brave lady, she was like, "What are you talking about? I'm just like the help. I'm just here." Like, she just pretended not to be related to us, and that's why they let her go. But then it was the feeling when coming back home of like having your space violated, and the fact that they could have taken my grandmother, which they did, by the way. Like, I have had friends that were killed over there because of how unsafe things were. um but also the fact that if we would have been there were some families like down the block that actually the family were there, and there were a lot of women, and they did things to those women in front of their families. Like, if you know what I mean. I'm not gonna say the word, but it starts with R.
Yeah.
And besides stealing from them, they also like do all this stuff to you, and kind of like. But sometimes they kill people as well, or most of the times they will kill someone, especially if you're trying to defend yourself. To one of my dogs, they gave her something that she never recovered. I think they hit her. I don't know, because she was like actually trained to protect the house. So that's why I will never train a dog to protect a house ever again. That wasn't my decision, obviously, to do that with a dog, of course. But they gave her something which she never recovered from. She was sick ever since, and she went down a worse path after that. But yeah, like, I think that was very scary, and like it left something on me. Like, I was already scared, and I didn't go out much when I was living there because of the situation. Because I have like an Italian last name, I was in a list to be kidnapped as well. Um, because anything foreign or sounds like they have money or whatever. But like, it was just like, obviously it goes back to an entire political situation, and like this social destruction that happened in my country. Uh, but yeah, it was scary. I didn't go many places. I didn't want to get kidnapped. I didn't want to get our word. So I don't know. I think that's the scariest experience, and I don't like going back there. And I don't even have my passport up to date because I never really felt safe. If that makes sense.
Right.
Sorry, I
Yeah,
went deep.
man. No, I mean that's yeah. Whatever you want to share is, we support all the way. That's rough. Um, I don't know if I've had. I don't know if I've had like a scary experience. Um, I guess like nightmare. Oh man, I've had some really bad nightmares. Like usually, so what happens with me? I don't know if this is like with everybody, but when I eat real late before I go to bed, um, especially if it's a lot of junk food and things like that, I always have really bad nightmares.
Oh yeah.
I had one, yeah, I had one recently where I was in a building with a bunch of friends. And y'all know how dreams work. There's really like no faces. Like I don't know who the friends were, but we were just in the
There are
place kind of
faces in dreams. I see faces.
well, there are, but I mean, like, I didn't know who they like. I couldn't tell you who the faces belonged to. They were
Yeah, yeah,
just,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. So we were in there just kind of like having a good time or whatever, and somebody came in. Um, are we allowed to say? We're allowed to say gun on YouTube? I guess a weapon. Oh, I've already said it, but came in with a weapon
I don't
and
know. We
just
say
kind
pew
of
pew pew all the time when we're playing
yeah.
video
There we
games, so I
go.
don't know.
Yeah. He came in and that pew pew pew, and I just remember just running. But it was one of those that felt so real, almost like you swore it just happened to you. I just remember just running and just like, oh my god, this is really happening, and just like going to get help. and then coming back and just that like horrific. Damn, this got dark, but I mean the question is dark.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's really no way of getting around it. Just
Sorry,
like
Ducky.
there's just yeah. I mean, it is like nightmare and experiences. There's no good nightmare or non dark scary experience, but just just coming back with the people I went to go get help with, and just people laid out all over the floor, and I have like a really
Oh.
I have a really weird thing about those anyway, since the whole, school shootings and things that are going on, like in public places shootings. I don't know why that just like it's top on my list of things that I'm like, anytime I go in anywhere, I'm just constantly watching everything around me.
Yeah.
But yeah, those nightmares are I hate when I get those because
I
they
think
feel so real.
I think it's collective trauma, to be honest, and I don't
Mhm.
blame you. Like it is
Yeah.
scary, and and like I said, where I grew up, it's scary, and
Yeah.
like when I think about those things happening here as well, I'm like, I didn't leave to come deal with that shit where I am now.
Yeah, right?
I'm trying
Yeah.
to be in like safer places, not in places where the same thing is gonna happen. So
Exactly. 100%. All right, Ducky, the last one was on you. That one got dark because of you. The rest we'll take. This is our darkest episode yet.
no, I know, right? It started
Flint's,
like ha ha ha, and all of a sudden,
yeah, it did. It got there really quick. All right. Flint said, "Would you rather shake one person's hand for 60 minutes or 60 people's hands for 1 minute each?"
I honestly like love you, Flint, except the way that you eat pizza, of course. But
Yeah, of
but
course. That's weird.
but like I hate questions where they make me choose between really bad things because like none of it. I don't want to do any of
Yeah,
that.
that sounds terrible.
Like all of it sounds horrible.
It really does. I'd rather shake one person's hand for 60 minutes, because if it's one person, damn, an hour is a long time. But if it's one person, you're kind of like, all right, like this is the only hand I have to worry about.
I know,
When there's
and like
60 hands.
and I hope it's like someone I can choose, right? Like, okay, I don't mind, you know, shaking this person's hand for 60 minutes, I guess. It's still uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it doesn't ruin our relationship.
I will I will say I'm not much of a handshake person anymore. My job has ruined that. Like I'll go to the restroom and see people come out from taking a shit and just walk right out and go straight to work. And I'm just like, yo, this has ruined my entire experience of touching any of y'all. I hate touching people. I do like the people walk by and I just give them my elbow. I'm just like, I can't fucking
Yeah,
touch
like
y'all.
I just saw
I
you
just
go to
for
the
the life of me will
bathroom.
never get that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like it stinks in here. I know you took a shit. Like I smell it. Like just wash your hands. I don't understand why.
I know, that's disgusting.
It is. Oh yeah, so we're in agreement. I think everybody here says one person. Even in the chat, Ducky says says one person too.
Good.
Ducky, also do not feel bad about that question. I get dark all the time. So
Yeah.
it's not the first
Yeah.
time. I go dark a lot.
Yeah,
So
to be honest, I do too, and sometimes I overshare, and I'm trying to be better about it. I'm supposed to be
oh, I
mysterious out here.
overshare. This is me we're talking about. I just told y'all how bad I wanted to smash the characters and what's that Boulder's Gate, like the
Yeah.
king of oversharing here.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is all good. All right. Thank you, Discord, Ducky, and Flints for those questions. We're gonna jump to some that I got through other sources like text messages. Drake wants to know what's an opinion you have that sounds insane to others, but you stand by it.
All right, so
Or maybe even sounds insane to you.
no, it's not insane to me. This one is actually it's unpopular, and some people agree, some people don't agree. But red velvet cake is a blasphemy to chocolate.
Damn. I mean, I'm not the biggest red velvet person, but I
And
know
I'm
that
saying
definitely
it-
just
and
pissed
I'm
somebody
saying it-
off.
And I'm saying it like that just to make someone mad. Because I'm like, why are you putting red fucking coloring on chocolate? Like, and sometimes it doesn't even taste like chocolate. It tastes like freaking colorant. You know, like I think only once I've had a decent red velvet cake. But other than that, I think it's the worst cake in the world, and I don't understand how it can be someone's favorite.
Damn. Wow.
Yeah.
I like chocolate way more.
Mhm.
I didn't know what the fuck velvet cake was. Like I've had it and I liked it, but I didn't know what it was
There
like
you
made
go.
of.
You didn't even know it was
It was just like,
chocolate.
yeah,
You know,
it's fine. Like it's fine. I was just like, okay, cool. Red velvet, it's
it's not
cool.
fun. It's so bad.
I've only had it a few times. Like I never went out of my way to get it like a red velvet cake or anything like that. But I mean, if somebody was like, here's a red velvet cake. Here's a slice, and I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. Like it wouldn't be my go-to choice. Um, man,
I
you kind
actually
of
like cake. Okay, so Brown Eyes actually has a statement that upsets me. I love cake.
Oh, Brown Eyes doesn't like cake.
I'm sorry that you don't like cake.
Okay, here's my thing about cake, and then I guess I'll give my answer that I did not think of, so I don't really have a good one right now. I'm okay with cake. I'm not a big icing fan that much. Like I don't really like I'm fine with it, but I guess that's why I don't really just go out of my way. Usually when I have cake, somebody's made it. I'm at my mom's house and she made cake, or somebody had a birthday and I had a slice of cake. Like I'm just not a big icing
That's a
guy.
common one though, because there are some icings that are way too sweet, and like,
Yeah.
but there are icings that are actually like I love icing, but a good icing, like a good icing. Wiggy,
Mhm.
red velvet is gross. Okay, so we got an agreement. I also prefer brownies over cake. Yeah.
Brownies, yeah, brownies are really good, especially homemade ones.
But
Let
I
me
don't
think.
prefer
Okay, do
brownies
I
over cake.
I will not piss anybody off today about my Xbox opinions or Starfield or anything like that. Pink, you won't believe it, and I'm stalling here to find an answer. But I have been told by multiple people that I shit on things that people love a lot. And so now I will give no more opinions on anything.
Well, I think that's not true. That you're not gonna give any more opinions.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. All right, what is the opinion that I have that others a lot? I feel like I'm the easiest one. Hamburgers are fucking gross. That's one everybody thinks is insane for me. Um, oh, there's another one for the gamers. Final Fantasy 9, 8 or 9. Which one had? Oh, you don't do the Final Fantasies, Pink?
I don't know
No,
them. I
yeah.
don't know them. No.
It's either 8 or 9. I forget which one it is. But one of them is like people love to death, and I was so excited to play it, and I got into it, and I hated it, and people were just like so upset with me for it. And I was like, okay.
I mean, I think at the end of the day, with games, it's like if you like it, you like it. I don't get upset at people liking certain things or disliking certain things because it's not affecting me. If
Mhm.
it's affecting me, then that's another story.
All right, here we go. I got a good one for y'all though. I don't believe that they have ever caught an alien, like a UFO alien thing. I'm not saying they don't exist because I'm not dumb enough to
But that's
think
not
that there's
also not
all that space.
upsetting.
No, it's just an opinion. I think everybody in here, if you ask everybody in chat, I think everybody would say they believe that we have aliens and we're hiding them. I think we don't have shit. I don't think they found an alien. I don't think they found a UFO. I don't think they have anything tied up somewhere. Like I just don't think we've ever. I don't think we've
No,
ever.
I don't think they have them tied up. If anything, I feel like we know of their existence, but we just like haven't done. I would hope that we haven't done anything to them, or I don't feel like
Oh
they're
yeah, of
easy.
course.
That I don't think that they're easy to catch either. You know,
Yeah.
that's what I believe. But I don't think it's a lie. I think there's definitely like information that we've had and things that we have received that have been kept away from us. Um, And I know this is it's not real, it's a show, but if you've never watched Twin Peaks, please watch it. It's so good. Because like the first season, or like the first, like the beginning of the Twin Peaks happened, like I believe in the 90s, at the beginning of the 90s, and then they did Twin Peaks, the new kind of like the renewal, I think it was called. It was kind of like a continuation, and it was done like a few years ago, and it's so good. So if you like weird shows, like definitely watch Twin Peaks.
I do love weird shows too. Yeah, I just think just for me, like I know there's all these like the Men in Black, not the movie. I mean like the conspiracy thing about like the real Men in Black walking. Like I just don't believe that we've like the Area 51, like Wiggles is saying in chat. I don't believe anything ever happened in Area 51. I don't think they've ever found a UFO that was crash landed there, and just like I don't believe the pictures and all that. Like I
So
don't know, just
basically,
don't.
you basically are just eating the bullshit that they're feeding you. I just
I guess in a way, I just think sometimes life is just boring and we just try to make it fun. But I just think sometimes, like, yeah, there's probably something up there. Like, there's a whole bunch of just shit there that we know nothing about. I'm sure there's things up there.
That's what
I
they
just
want you to
don't
believe.
believe.
They want you to believe that life is boring and all you need to do is wake up every day, go to work, pay your bills, and that's it. That's what they want you to believe. They're smart.
Yeah.
They're smart.
They got they got me because I just don't. I'm not into like. All right, I don't think anybody here thinks Bigfoot's real. I'm assuming everybody's with me on that. No,
What?
Bigfoot. I believe everybody's with me. We don't believe Bigfoot is real. I'm trying to think of like the big ones. I don't believe the
What
Loch
do
Ness
you
monster
know
is
though?
real or
What do you know?
Bigfoot.
Like how do
I
you
don't know
know?
anything. I just an opinion. I'm just saying I
Like
don't think it's walking out
Bigfoot
there.
could be like any type of beast like animals are. You know what I mean? Like it could be like anything else that's just going around, roaming around that we just
Yeah.
haven't seen before.
Yeah, I'm not
Like
saying it's
l-
not real. I'm just saying I
like
just don't in my
dinosaurs. Are like dinosaurs not real?
No, they have dinosaur bones. Of course they're real.
Right. Okay. So exactly the same. Like you wouldn't. I feel like if you didn't know, right, and you just saw what you see, like the animals that we know, and like the ones that we've been able to study, like you would think dinosaurs are not real because look at that, they're giant creatures, right? You would think they were not real on today's age, right? Like if we didn't have anything remaining of them, but they were.
Yeah.
We just don't have proof. You know what I mean? But we do have proof. But I'm just giving it as a
Yeah.
hypothetical. You know?
Yeah, I get it. I never say never to anything. I just don't feel like Area 51 really happened. That's all. That's all. All right,
If
let's
there
jump
are
to Bree who
any
says
aliens watching this, make sure you visit Anthony.
yeah, please prove yourself to me.
Just
Show
poke him.
yourself to
Poke
me.
him a bit.
Yeah. I got to see it to believe it. That's not true either. I'm blank. Trey wants to know: can we get Pink's thoughts on Power World and all the controversy surrounding it? I'm curious about her thoughts on one, allegedly stealing content, and two, if she had a problem with the game, if it is AI made. So let me set the table real quick for anybody who doesn't know anything about Power World, which I'm surprised like that there would be, but I'm learning from my friend group. None of my close friends know what the fuck Power World is, and I was very surprised by that. But Power World, I've played like 6 hours of it. Wasn't really my thing. Uh, Once again, all this stuff, as far as I know, is alleged. I think they came out and said that that stuff wasn't true and that they were offended by what people were saying about the developers and it was taking credit from them. I don't know anything about none of this other than it's alleged that
Mm.
they used AI to make the game, and people are upset that they copied Pokemon. I'm not using the words copy. Nobody attacked me for this. I'm just telling y'all what other people think. That they stole the look from Pokemon, copy and pasted it, and just changed it up a little bit for it to be their thing. And there was other games. Maybe somebody in chat knows some other games that they said was stolen, or I don't know if there's a better word than stolen. I apologize, but there's like two other games I believe that people said that they took things from. In the 6 hours I played, one of the things that I really noticed, I know Fortnite was one of them. They said like the character, your character, and kind of like the the look of the game is very Fortnite-ish outside of the monsters that look like Pokemon. The only thing I noticed in the 6 hours I played is when you find your fast travel, it is very heavy Zelda inspired. Like the way the name pops up of, of the fast travel and the sound it makes, you're like, oh, okay, they got that from Zelda. Like, and I don't mean that in a copy paste. I just mean like the idea was, inspired by Zelda very easily. But what do you think, Pink? I don't know if you even got to play this or look at it, or if
I
you have
don't
any
know
thoughts.
why I'm being asked about this. I understand that I always usually have like an opinion and stuff like that, but to be honest, like I know of Pal World. I played it for a whole 5 minutes. I 5 minutes, okay? I actually went in and I was playing by myself and I was gonna see if I was gonna have some friends join, if they join or whatever. I didn't like the idea of hitting the characters that I thought were cute. So
Mhm.
I I literally just exited the game. And again, like this is not kind of like because I know that other controversy that happened with it is like people complaining about animal abuse. Uh,
Animal cruelty, yeah.
yeah, cruelty and abuse. Yeah. So I understand, but I feel like it's not the first game to do it. Like some people like maybe looked at it that way, and it's true. To be honest, I think like if they were actually copying everything, I feel like Nintendo would have already like done something before the game even came out.
Hmm.
Like I think many games now it's kind of like music, right? Like some combinations of shorts. I think I have something on my hair and I'm trying to take it away. Yeah, some combinations of chords and music, are gonna repeat themselves, and you're gonna listen to melodies that are gonna be similar. And I think that's just meant to happen with artistic creation. And I know AI was mentioned. I don't think it would be because like I think like what I read is like it has not been proven like even how they would have used AI if they used it.
Yeah.
So I think it just like the entire thing is like the community going insane
Mm.
for because
It's
just
all been alleged,
yeah, like because the game,
just to be clear.
yeah, like because the game is like very popular and stuff like that. But it's just
Hmm.
like I think honestly I don't know. Like I think like something would have happened already if all those things that are being said were already like considered like copying or stealing. And some people,
Hmm.
I think what some of the things that they said is that they used and just barely changed the Pokemon assets and stuff like that. I think it's just like a very like heavy thing to say because I don't even know how long they spend developing the game. Like, I haven't
Yeah.
played it enough. I don't think I am like the best person to give an opinion on it. I just think it's just like, and I'm not defending, if it is, it is. And, I hope that if they actually did all those things and everything was done with AI and like very little like was done by the artists and stuff like that, okay, cool. Obviously, like, let's see. Because what was the other question? Why I think of AI being used? I think a lot of games already use AI, but it depends on
Hmm.
how they're using it. Again, like I don't think AI is the enemy as long as we're using it in like an ethical way and like it's being used just to help and support, not as the main source of everything. You know what I mean? But I don't
Hmm.
know. That's
Yeah.
that's just my those are just my thoughts, and I'm sorry I don't have much of an opinion on this.
No, I mean, well, it's hard. I mean, it's all alleged, so I mean, nobody can speak to confidence about what should happen to them or anything like that. I think you answered the question perfectly for things that are just alleged. I'll say for me, I played the game and I just got bored, and then like people
Yeah,
told me
I
that,
mean,
yeah, people told me I was being negative, so I was like, okay, I'll give it another shot, and I didn't like it. I said I would just keep my opinion to myself. I just wasn't having fun playing it. It was just boring.
I think people need to be more respectful of what people enjoy and they don't enjoy. Like there are things that are
Oh,
very
thank you.
popular. That
Yeah.
like that says the person who says that judges people for by elder ring.
All right. Well, there you go, Trey. I think you answered that perfectly, especially since everything here I just do want to make clear. Everything that said about that game has just been alleged as far as, today. As far as I know today, everything has just been alleged. Like so I'm not I don't want to speak as if any of that shit was proven. All right, let's jump to Breed. So, what are your thoughts? Here we go. We get to say our opinions some more. What are your thoughts on the recent rumors that Xbox games possibly coming to PlayStation and Nintendo? And is this bad for Xbox?
No, it's not. Like, I know that again, is the community again. Like, if it's their decision to do that, right? Like, they obviously have a good deal, or they just want to make it available to everybody, and their idea was never to make it all like Xbox exclusive, right? But again, I think it's the community that's actually being riled again. Like, don't do that, then it's not. It's gonna make no sense to purchase Xbox consoles and stuff like that. And I think that's something that I saw earlier today. Um,
Hmm.
and it was just like, bro, that's their fucking issue, you know? Like, if they want to
Yeah,
make that decision, that's their issue. And like, I understand, like, listen to your people, but like, how is it affecting you if other people? It's just like, is this saying, like, just flip it around, right? Like, PlayStation people getting mad because a game comes on Xbox on PC. Like, why are you getting mad? Like, why does it bother you? like, you know
yeah.
what I mean? You know what I mean? Why does it bother you that other people are gonna play the game and that the developers of the game are actually gonna make more money because more people are gonna purchase their game? Why does it bother you?
Yeah, I mean
Like,
that's a good question.
I
I
don't
don't know.
I don't get it. You know, like I think I mean, in my opinion, I think like whoever develops the game is gonna make more money if it's a good game and sells well. Also, uh, I don't think that Xbox revenue, or like most of the revenue from Xbox, is coming from the console. It's coming mostly from the cloud and Game Pass. That's what I think.
Mhm.
Maybe I'm saying something wrong. I don't know. I don't have the numbers, but I
I
think
don't know shit. So
I think most of the business comes from cloud, you know, in
yeah,
general. So I don't know.
yeah. I thought this was weird and not weird. Of course, not weird on Breed because you're just asking our just thoughts on it. You didn't give even an opinion to this. I just think it's weird to see people like, even if I don't know enough about this at all to know whether it's going to be a success or a fail or whatever. But even if people quit buying an Xbox, it's like it's none of my fucking business. Like that would be, if that was worst case scenario and that's what happened with them. Like it doesn't have anything to do with me. Like I just
And I will say something, right? I know that people like to say that PlayStation as a hardware is superior, but the Xbox Series X is a great console. Like, because I know like a lot of like a lot of the argument is like, well, Xbox doesn't have any exclusive. Okay, gotcha. Like, it doesn't have any exclusives or whatever. But the console, like the hardware base per se, even though it looks like a fridge, it actually performs really, really well. Um, so I don't know why people would stop. There are people that still have chosen Xbox over other consoles their entire lives. And also, like, I can have all the consoles if I have the money, of course. If like, it's up to people to decide if they want to buy one console and which one they want to buy from there. You know what I mean? I don't
yeah. I play
understand the issue. I don't understand where the issue for them. Like, it doesn't in my brain, it just doesn't compute. Like,
I have both and I play both. I use PlayStation when I'm buying a new game. I usually play it on PlayStation, and I use the Xbox for like the Game Pass part of it. Just at the end of the day, I feel like I got to tell people the same way I tell my friends who argue about basketball players. Like, and I used to do that all the time when I was a teenager. I'm just like, dog, I'm 32 years old, and LeBron and Michael Jordan, neither one of them pay my bills, so I don't really give a fuck who anybody thinks is better out of the two. I feel the
yeah,
same way about Xbox and PlayStation. They're like fucking billionaires. They're like, whatever one you want to get, go get it and just and play that. Like it's
yeah.
fine. I don't care what anybody likes or plays or, well, I mean, I care what people like, of course, but like I'm not gonna argue anybody about what they want to play on, and I don't really care
Yeah.
whatever happens with this Xbox thing. That I just really don't give a fuck. Like, not to be mean, but I just like, they're billionaires. Like I got way bigger problems than whether or not they're gonna have issues with their console or whatever's gonna happen with their games. I just don't really care.
They're gonna make the decisions that they're gonna make. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand why people are getting pressed, and it goes the same with Palworld. Like, I know that people are getting pressed with that game in so many ways, And like there are games that were released. I'm not gonna say what year because I don't remember, but it was like this very disgusting character. Now, maybe some people know what I'm trying to refer to. That they released a game. I didn't see an outrage because of that. You know what I mean? I would have liked to see an outrage about that game and that person, but I didn't see that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there was one, but I just didn't see it. But I just don't understand why community gets so like, like you know what? You know what communities like that? The Sims community, man. Like people are so weird in the Sims community. Like there are great people, but then there are like the people that are just like insulting each other because of what Sims you prefer. If it's Sims 2, Sims 3, or Sims 4. And it's kind of like they're insulting each other in comments. They're like, you're wrong. You don't know what you're talking. I'm like, dude, calm down. Just play the game that you want to play.
Yeah. It's very annoying. I'll say this too. I don't have anything else to add to the Xbox thing, but as far as it comes to like communities and things, I feel like I thought getting away from the wrestling community would be good. And then I got near the gaming and I was like, oh, it's the exact same thing as sports. It's the exact same thing. You got passionate people. So like right now, everybody is just going insane, which I won't get into details. We don't have a lot of wrestling fans in here right now. But there's something going on in wrestling right now, and everybody's just fucking losing their minds. And I'm like, guys, I promise it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be just fine. I promise everybody's gonna be okay. It's just I don't know. It's just something I noticed from like kind of getting over sports to getting, and I guess anime same way. Communities, I'm sure they get into serious, passionate things about their animes. I remember I said, oh man, I remember I said that I enjoyed Demon Slayer more than Jujutsu Kaisen, but I really, really love Jujutsu Kaisen, and I think that rubs some people the wrong way. And I was like, I like Jujutsu Kaisen. I was just saying that I like Demon Slayer a little more. Like,
I
I think
I like Demon Slayer a little more too.
yeah, I just think every community, no matter what it is, has very passionate people, and everybody just has to relax a little bit. Everything's gonna be okay. All right. Did you have anything else you wanted to add to Xbox?
No.
Okay. Final question. I think yeah. Okay, because I read these out of order, so I was making sure I got them right. Hot take: Demon Slayer season 2 is better than season 3. Oh, I'm not good with remembering. Oh, season 2 was the train arc, I believe. Unless I'm getting that wrong. I forget. I have bad memory.
I'm like trying to remember what season is which.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
That was the movie.
Oh, that was
Yeah,
the
that's
movie.
true. The train was the movie.
But they had a season to that also. I thought that was.
No, not the train.
There's a season. Yeah, I didn't watch the movie. I watched the season of the train.
Was the last season the one with the village? Was that season 3?
I remember the last season by something that I don't want to say because it could be a spoiler for anybody watching. Like a huge spoiler.
Well, I mean, it's literally called Sword Village or something like that, right?
No, I know what you meant. I don't remember the title. I was saying the way I remember it was from something else that happened. I don't want to say it. But yeah, my memory's too bad to remember titles of seasons for sure. Sounds right.
Well,
all right.
I think I might agree with Wiggy there
though. Swordsmith Village was the last season,
which is season 3, right?
Maybe. I'm laying out of this. My memory's too bad. This one's up to Mr. Wiggles.
Because I might be in agreement there. So that's what I'm trying to say. Oh, that's.
I guess season 4.
Oh, then I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm lost.
All right. Let's jump to C Tom here for the final question. If you both had to make your own Mount Rushmore of music artists that were influential to your life, what would they be? And then please do the same with video games. All right. So just as a reminder, Mount Rushmore has 4 faces on it.
Thank you.
So if you had to replace them, I actually had to Google that because I didn't know. So I had to go Google that. So we're gonna start with music. Did you like what artists influence you? It could even be up to date if you have one to date that.
Well, I would say
anything.
like as a kid, definitely like Queen, Pink Floyd.
Mm-hmm.
And then in my teenage years, like a lot of like just because I can only choose 4, right? So since I can only choose 4, I'm gonna choose those 2 from you know, since I was a kid. Queen definitely because I used to dance to it and everything, and I was obsessed with Freddie Mercury. And Pink Floyd, it was like, yeah, I love Pink Floyd and I still love it today. Then I would say maybe a little bit further down the road, like I would love to add some of the emo bands like My Chemical Romance and stuff like that. But I definitely think for today, I really want to add Lana Del Rey because I love her. I love her music.
You
And
say Lana Del Rey? I was gonna pick that.
well, you can pick her, but if you don't know all her music, then don't talk to me. You told me that you like Summertime Sadness, and I'm like, oh my god, there's so much more to her than Summertime.
Yeah, I didn't say that was the only thing I liked from her. I just said that was one of my favorites. You're just like, that's not her only song. Like, I know. This is just one of my favorites.
It's like, okay, so I'm gonna add Radiohead, which is obviously my name, right? It's in my name, and obviously I am really bad at creating names. And when I was trying to decide what name to pick for my Twitch channel, I was like, well, I like Pink Floyd and I like Radiohead. So Pink Radiohead, which by the way, people always thought that I did because of my pink hair, but it was Pink Floyd.
Yeah, I thought it was because of your hair.
Yeah, everyone thought that, and I was like, it's because of Pink Floyd. So whenever I changed my hair color, they were like, Pink Hair Riot! I'm like, anyway, Pink Floyd, Radiohead, Queen, and Lana Del Rey, just because it's only 4.
Okay. Let me see. All right, Kid Cudi and Tupac are my top. As a child, listening to Tupac speak about the struggles of being black and growing up with a mother that was a Black Panther, and they were just fighting a whole different thing. I was always super, super inspired by him. It made me feel like I could do anything as a black kid growing up. So he's my number one. Number two is Kid Cudi easily because in a world full of like gangster rap, and it was weird to be anything other than a gangster, and I was not that my entire life. I was never that. He was one of the first ones to just like not sag his pants. He had his pants all the way up and like tighter clothes, and I was just like in these 3X t-shirts and extra large pants. I looked fucking crazy. And when I seen that, I was like, that's how I would like to dress. Like, and so actually he changed my entire life, especially being one of the first rappers that I ever heard start talking about like depression and anxiety and going through things, and that when you're black, we put each other down a lot for that, and we don't look out for each other. And just like I was just like, man, I can relate to all this more than I can whatever the fuck DMX was talking about. So he's up there for me. I was trying to replace Kanye West because at the time he wasn't who he is today. Like the asshole that he is today, but he was super influential for a lot of the same reasons Cudi was during my childhood years. I don't know what happened to him today, but I guess I'll throw Kanye of yesteryears in there.
I cannot stand the man.
I know it hurt me so bad that he turned into who the fuck he turned into. My 4 was gonna be Lana Del Rey. I was trying to think of another one. Lana Del Rey is kind of what got me like I was so into hip hop and not willing to get out of it really. Besides a few things every once in a while. Like I used to like listen to Gwen Stefani from time to time. Like if I was with my mom, she'd turn on the radio, like No Doubt and Gwen Stefani would be on, or my sister did a little bit of like Fall Out Boy and stuff, but like I always just super, super hip hop. And then Lana Del Rey was the first album I went and bought that wasn't like a hip hop album. And her music was just so fucking dope.
Yeah.
I'll put her in there because I can't even think of another one I would put.
She's great,
her, so
and she has many things,
yeah.
and I don't think people give her enough credit. And I think that's one of the things that people talk about, especially with her last album. Is like people didn't really know how great she actually was, but then she has inspired so many newer female artists as well that are kind of like following her trend, and it was actually she was the inspiration, you know. So
yeah, she had a song called Mountain Dew that I used to love. Like, oh my god, she was fucking awesome. All right, what about video games?
Well, I think mine is gonna be very boring here. But I'm going to say a couple because just, you know, kind of like starting with my first console with the Sega Genesis, I'm going to probably put Ren and Stimpy there. It wasn't influential, but it's just,
that game was fun.
But it was so fun. and like I don't think
Yeah.
I ever beat it, and I really think it was such a fun game, and it was exciting. Then of course I'm gonna add Ocarina of Time,
Yeah.
Majora's Mask,
All
and,
right.
and Wind Waker. Okay, I'm done.
Oh, really? Oh, well, you actually, I thought you were going to go Tears of the Kingdom for number 4.
I love Tears of the Kingdom, but if we're talking influential for me, like I'm gonna put those because like that's more like I don't know me growing up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, I got you. Number 1 for me, I'm going to go Legend of Dragoon. A lot of people know it's my favorite game of all time. It's the first game that I ever played that got me away from like sports because I was so used to just sports video games. And when Legend Dragoon came out, and it was like the dude with the armor and the sword and the dragons and all that, like that was never my thing. And it's a JRPG. That was never my type of game ever. And then somebody let me borrow Legend of Dragoon, and I fell in love, and that's what changed like gaming for me entirely. I was like, okay, there's so much more to this than NBA 2K and Madden. So I'll do that. I'll put Elden Ring in there because it's the first game that was Souls like that I ever beat. It's the hardest game that I've ever had to beat. So I was proud of myself for that. It was very influential for me because now I continue to play Dark Souls games like Liza P, and I want to play Bloodborne too. So throw that in there. Ooh, number 3 for me would probably be Def Jam Fight for New York. Once again, going back to just being a black kid growing up, there wasn't a lot of video games outside of sports that had a lot of black people in it. So when they made a whole fighting game of just rappers, I was like, oh, this is fucking cool. So I was happy with that. That was my number 3. And then number 4, oh man. I'd say, you know what, Mass Effect Legendary Edition. I'll go with that because I used to get really bad anxiety about games that have a whole lot of options, and Mass Effect is very much that. I remember starting it and just be like having so much anxiety of like, there's so much going on. I don't know what to do. There's this and that, and I need to remember to do this. But like the more I played it, because I played the first one 3 times. And by the 3rd time I played the first one, I was like, okay, I get what's happening. And I'm way more comfortable with this. So I finished 2 and 3, and they're one of my favorite games ever. And I'm not so I still get a little weird. Like Starfield is kind of giving me that anxiety back because you just walk by somebody and you have a new mission. I'm like, wait, what? Where's this? I got to figure out what's going on. So
Oh,
Starfield's kind of getting it back. Like there's a lot of side quest things in Starfield. I'm just like, oh man, this is a lot going on.
well, like
But
I love side quests for sure.
I do too. It just took me a while. It took Mass Effect for me to learn that I love side quests. I used to just skip all the side quest shit in video games. It took Mass Effect for me to do that.
I understand that because like I think that happened to me when I play Fallout. I was just like, damn, there's so much going on. Like and I really loved that actually. I know my list was kind of like boring, but it's just like 4 that I
I
chose
don't think it was boring.
from like being a kid, and I know a lot of it is Zelda, but I think that's not a surprise anymore, to be honest.
And that's what influenced you. Like that's all
Yeah.
I'm sure Tupac wasn't the greatest answer to a lot of people for influential music. Like
Yeah.
it's just different for everybody. I'm sure Tupac didn't mean as much to nearly anybody in here as it did for me. But so I mean, like it just depends on how you grew up and what was there when you were doing that, what touched you. Anybody who hates those answers should make their own podcast and tell us what tell us what influenced them. But nice, we did pretty good today. I enjoyed those questions. Those were really good.
Yeah, this is a pretty long podcast, by the way.
Yeah, it was fun though. I had a
Yeah.
good time.
Yeah.
At least if it's going to be long, at least it was fun.
Yeah.
It was
for
dark for
sure.
about a
It
few
was
minutes, but
dark.
it was also
It was
fun.
very dark.
It was very dark. I live in dark though. It didn't bother me as much outside of just I felt bad when you told the story you told. That sounds like it was a terrible thing to have to grow up witnessing.
Oh yeah.
But just being in dark, that's my vibe. I just try to like watch for you and everybody else. I'm just like, I know Pink doesn't want to stay in a dark area. I never mind being in the dark. I live in
No,
that.
I don't think you understand. Like people think I'm weird because sometimes I tell these things and I'm smiling. I'm like, it's called drama.
Yeah, no, I get you.
It's
I
like
get you.
I already
100%.
laugh at it. Like, I'm the person who makes her therapist laugh, okay? Because
Yeah.
I literally live with it so much that I laugh.
I get that. Yeah, no worries at all. I'd never there's nothing you could say that's gonna be oversharing to me. I mean, of course, if you always feel like you're oversharing, I would never tell you, that's for you to decide. But you'll never bother me on this podcast about oversharing. I do it all the time. I'm always constantly oversharing. Way too much. Great answers. Thank you, Mr. Wiggles. I had a really good time with this. These were really good questions, and some of them I had to think a little longer on, which is fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's
Lolo.
gonna. Yes, Lolo is in the building. What's up, Lolo? Um, that is it for this episode. Pink, do you want to do the honors of taking us out of here?
Bye. I was trying to think if I had something, but I don't have anything as usual.
That's
Bye.